How's it going, YouTube people? Cack and Balls here today with another video. This time I'm going to be showing off, I've got a Sony CDX-F5710, so 5710. This particular CD player is one that I had for many, many years in multiple different vehicles. Basically, the CD player has a flip-down detachable face. It's 17 watts continuous by 4 at 4 ohms with less than 1% THD. Signal to noise ratio is 82 decibels at 1 watt into 4 ohms. This CD player, if I recall correctly, had 4 or 5 volt pre-out. It doesn't say on the box, and I don't remember off the top of my head. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to flip this around. I'm going to kill power to it so I don't have any issues. Shorten the thing out here, but on the back of the CD player, and my lighting's not very good, so hopefully you guys can see, we have the sub pre-out, which is its own dedicated set of cables coming out of the back here. We have a antenna input. We have, if I do that, is it easier? There we go. We have, this is the bus input for a Ipod adapter, which I have off camera here. I'll bring it in and show you what that looks like. Then you have front and rear pre-outs. You have your harness, and off to the side in the bottom right you have your wired remote, and then you have the bus adapter to end up running a CD changer or a iPod hookup. And originally I actually had a CD changer hooked up to this and ran it for many years, and then eventually I went out and I bought the Ipod adapter. And the Ipod adapter for this particular unit, or the one that I own now, is XA-110IP. It says interface for iPod, and obviously it's going to have the older style cable on it here, or the hookup for it. Nowadays, you know, I've got 60 some gigs worth of music on my computer, and I don't feel like going out and buying a brand new iPod for it. So I've upgraded since to one that has a USB input on the front, which we'll get into that one a little bit later. So this particular CD player, flip it back around, came with a wireless remote, and it did have the option at one point in time for a wired remote, which you could end up buying from pretty much any retail place that sold them, like Best Buy. I don't remember if Circuit City was still around at the time whenever this came out or not. So let's go ahead and reset the power here. Excuse me. So this particular CD player, you've got your flip down face on it, which you would end up having your eject button here if I had a CD in it. And like all Sonys, this is one whenever you kill power to it, it would end up making the annoying noise at the end, let you know that the faceplate was still attached to it. So what we have on here, I'll turn on source. So we've got the tuner. Off of here, you've got your color changing ability. So we'll go through the colors that are on it. I believe it had 7 colors total. So for video's sakes, I'll leave it on a lighter color. Some of the buttons on it, the thing that I liked about it was that the buttons were nice and big, where you can end up, you know, like it cupped your finger real well in here, your source, everything just kind of laid out real nice. You got your DSO button, which was, I believe it just kind of made, it was like a loud type option that was on it. You've got EQ7, you can go through, and there is explode, there's vocal, club, jazz, new age, rock. Obviously you guys can read along with me. And then going back here, you got your volume, had a nice rubber kind of wheel around the outside of it, has a clicking to it as you kind of turn the volume up and down. You got your up and down buttons. I believe these were for your presets that are pre-programmed. You can also go to your, see, this one has an issue with the face on it. It shuts off every now and then. You can do your presets down along the bottom here for preset 1, preset 2, etc. Or you can just scroll through them by going up and down. It also changes your folders for your iPod. So we have mode. Mode will do AM and FM for the radio. Then you have display, and on the display, depending on what you have hooked up, like CD player wise or iPod, it'll show the name, the track, the name of the artist, etc. This is before the RDS, the radio data century, where it would actually have like the AM FM radio station information on it. Usually whenever you'd have a CD player in here or a CD, you'd have some movement up here as well as over here. I don't have anything, I actually don't have a CD out here right now. Actually, hold on. I have let me try this one. So this will kind of give you an idea as to what it looks like with the CD in. So obviously, once again, I don't have speakers hooked up to it. And we'll fast forward it a little bit. So there's your movement. I'll scroll through the colors again. I always liked the red, partly because it wasn't super bright inside the cabin of my vehicle whenever I had it hooked up in there. So there's all the colors again. So on here, there's a tool CD that's currently in here. I'll press display. It says no name because there's no information on the disc. But if you had like a CD, burnt CD that had the stuff on it, it would be able to show you information that way. If you press in on the middle button over here, that will take you to your bass, treble, balance, fader, just like your typical CD player would. Then you end up having your off button down here on the bottom right. So take the CD out, hit the eject button. So yeah, this one I was lucky enough, a long time ago, I never really gave any thought to necessarily keeping the box or the owner's manual and all that stuff. I got another CD player down here on my test bench playing. It's an old Pioneer. But I never gave it any thought really to end up keeping some of the packaging that I've had. But this one, I ended up keeping the box, and I have the owner's manual and everything for it. So if you own one of these CD players and you have any questions about it or anything like that, feel free to ask. I'll try to end up answering the question. Obviously, nowadays, everything's available online, and you can look everything up. But if you have any questions and you just happen to come across this video, feel free to give me a holler and ask. So, if you have any questions, give me a holler. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If not, give me a thumbs down. Tell a friend, tell a enemy, all that fun stuff. You know how I roll. So, have a good one.